2025 is going to be an interesting year for PC handhelds. Everyone and their grandma are going to be releasing a portable device this year, and I'm very much looking forward to the next iteration of the rogally, the MSI Claw 8 AI Plus, and of course, the legiongo 2. But before we dive into today's topic, here is a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is being brought to you by GTMEDIA. Transform your workspace with the ultimate portable dual screen, the GTMedia Mate X. Lightweight and compact, this innovative device triples your screen space in seconds, whether it is on the go or at home. Perfect for professionals, gamers, or students, it enhances multitasking, streamlines workflow, and provides a seamless triple monitor experience on the go. Elevate your productivity and creativity with the GTMedia Mate X. Anytime, anywhere. Order yours now by clicking on the link in the description. The title of the video might come across as a bit clickbaity, but I decided to make this video after a chat with one of my buddies. He is of the opinion that the Switch 2 will kill the PC handheld market, and while I think that will not be the case, I think he made some valid points. We both got into PC handhelds for the same reason, although he got into it a bit later than I did.
In 2022, the middle of the 5th year of the Switch's life cycle, the Switch is underpowered. I don't think that's really a debate. I think we're all pretty much in agreement on that. It's basically a glorified Android tablet that's 5 years old.
For both of us, the Switch started to show signs of its age. While there are some amazing PS4 and Xbox ports on the Switch, there were a few titles that clearly showed that the handheld has reached its limits, which is probably the reason why some titles were released as cloud games on the Switch instead of an actual port. I think around 2022, people started to anticipate the announcement of a new Nintendo console. There was a lot of speculation about when this announcement would be made, but we know the story. This anticipation would go on for basically the next 3 years. In the meanwhile, this created a window for PC handhelds to swoop in and entice with the possibility to play games like Final Fantasy VII Remake on the go. I remember seeing a video of someone using a GPD Win running Resident Evil 2 Remake. That was back in 2022, and I had no idea that these kind of devices exist. But it opened Pandora's box for me. I looked more into portable PC handhelds and found the Aya Neo, which looked really interesting. And when I got the Aya Neo next, it was the end for the Nintendo Switch for me. For my buddy, it was the Steam Deck. But enough about how we got into PC handhelds. Let's talk about why he thinks the Switch 2 will have an impact on the popularity of them. His point is that everyone that made the jump to the Steam Deck, or other PC handhelds, will get the Switch 2 for being the cheaper platform. When I asked him what he meant with cheaper platform, he said that he will be able to just stick with the Switch 2 for as long as Nintendo will support it, because games will actually be optimized to run on it. He lamented that some of the newer games run like dog shit on his Ally, even at lowest settings in 720p with FSR, and that's because the games were not made with PC handhelds in mind, and that PC game optimization is just abysmal. He said that at the end of the day, these are PC games and not optimized to run on just one specific machine. He made the argument that he didn't spend $900 to just play 10-year-old games, and that he doesn't want to spend multiple hundreds of dollars every year just to keep up with the latest releases. Here I countered that maybe there are some games that are just not meant to be played on handhelds, but are better experienced on a gaming PC or a console like the PS5 or Series X. Whereas he argued that all these games have graphical settings, and one should be able to expect the games to run at the lowest settings at 720p, with upscaling enabled. Another issue he has is the pure digital format on these devices. He would rather spend money on physical media than on digital licenses, and have an actual library of physical games. Interesting take. But personally, I'm not too sure about how much of an impact, if at all, the Switch 2 will have on PC handhelds. I agree with some points though. While you can keep your Steam Deck or legiongo or rogally or whatever you are currently rocking for the next 5 years or so, you'll most likely feel enticed to get the latest and fastest handheld that's currently on the market. The lifespan in the PC market is relatively short since we see refreshes on an almost annual basis. The console market usually has one mid-gen refresh, for example the Switch OLED, PS5 Pro, etc., meaning that in theory you could stick with the same device up to the end of the console's life cycle. However, I'm not sure how the Switch 2 will fare with ports in its later life cycle, considering that it will be released quite late into the 9th generation of consoles, meaning it will most likely intersect with the 10th generation of consoles in a few years from now. I also get the point regarding physical media. I'd rather have the games on a shelf than in a digital library. At least I can resell the game if I should decide that I don't want to keep the copy. Anyway, guys, what is your opinion about this? Do you think the Switch 2 will have any impact on the PC handheld market? Personally, I'm not too sure. But what I do know is that it is a great time to be a gamer. There are so many ways to enjoy our favorite games available, and it's up to us to decide which is the best way. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new here, I would appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button. I'm pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, and that's all thanks to you guys. I really appreciate all your support. And that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Casual Gamer, out.